The M1 is in zone 1, replaced by the libero because it's the back row middle blocker, followed by the setter in zone 2, the H1, the M2, the opposite, and the H2. In serve receive, the H1 moves back to pass in zone 5 and hits a go. The M2 stays in zone 4 and can hit a gap or a quick or hit a slide. The libero passes in zone 1, the H2 passes in zone 6, the opposite steps back near the end line. The overlap rules here require the M2 to be to the left of the H1, which won't be a problem if the M2 stays close to the left sideline here. The H1 must be in front of the H2, and the opposite back at the end line must be to the left of the H2. Remember, with the front row setter, you have a setter dump as an offensive possibility, as well as some back row attack options. Here's how it looks. Once again, it's easy to have the opposite pass in serve receive. If you'd like the opposite to pass instead of the H1, the opposite steps into zone 5 and passes there. The H1 steps up towards zone 4 and prepares to hit a go. Everything else remains the same. Once again, the M2 can hit in the middle or hit a slide. The only overlap rule here to remember is that the H1 needs to be to the right of the M2. Here's what this change looks like. If you'd rather have the H2 not pass, the H2 moves back to the end line, the opposite moves into zone 6, and the H1 passes in zone 5 and will hit a go. The M2 once again can hit in front of the setter or behind. The overlap rules here require the H2 to be between the opposite and the libero. Everything else is the same. Here's an example of this, but you might notice one overlap violation here. Remember, the M2 needs to be to the left of the H1. Fortunately, in this situation, the H1 recognizes this and signals to the M2 to move towards zone 4. And by the time the ball is served, everyone is in a legal starting position. This is a great example of player awareness, and players on the court knowing where each other need to be in order to abide by volleyball's overlap rules.